it is.
Right, make sure the bottom gets there.
It just makes you
side.
This is where Rachel and Max and I go. When we went to World Youth Day, this was the music that we had.
Eamon's got his flip cam out, everybody.
3 years ago.
Oh man, I forgot you had one of them.
You bought it for me.
Max, how long
Mistake,
ago?
wasn't it? It's a big mistake.
It was 2008.
2008.
Oh my god.
And it was it was the Holy Spirit. What was the fruit do basically? And we opened the door of Auburn Road and we just laughed. We laughed for about 5 minutes before we could do anything. And the driver managed to squash them everywhere. Because Nick and Father have been so good that we found another place to stay. But we had to borrow duvets. And they'd given us a huge sack for each duvet.
Which one?
We thought we'd get about 4 bags of stuff and we had 35 bags.
Do you want one?
And do you remember that time when I locked myself out of my room?
Quite good.
Father Bede the first night about 8 o'clock at night.
No, don't worry, it's all open.
We'll check it out now.
Imagine how many people do that.
Yeah, but then I knew when Nick showed me the cupboard where the spare keys are, I thought, well, I don't need to ring Father Bede if I do it again.
Either class,
Yeah, you're on the inside track if Nick shows you that cupboard.
Yes.
I can't concentrate, I keep looking at
And then the time that Eamon set off, Eamon decided to go for a midnight walk. It was with the sixth form and I was left with a few and he said, I'll be half an hour.
It just curls through, doesn't it?
An hour and a half later,
I feel it going now.
pitch dark everywhere, no lights on, no Eamon, no sixth form. And then Eamon comes in, we've had an amazing walk. Well, it was, wasn't it?
We never had any excitement when I used to come to Ampleforth. It
Oh,
just went smooth, we didn't have things go wrong.
You had the Middleton, the sheep, the stealing.
Oh yeah, we had an event at Middleton Grange.
I was on, that was our retreat.
Yeah.
We were
Were you
on
on
that
that
year
retreat?
nine retreat
The
when they tried to-
sheep rustling.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah. It was old
And I
Middleton.
was newly qualified. I was like started at your school in September, but I came up to meet you
All
before
right.
I started.
I hadn't realised all that. This was in the middle of very early hours of the morning. Some girls came and said that some men were trying to steal some sheep from the field below Middleton Grange. And so we went up to the room and we were in the dark, so you could see out. Sure enough, they had this like a Land Rover in the field, and we were trying to bundle these sheep into the back of the Land Rover. So we phoned the police, and I think mobile phones had just been invented because we were able to talk to them on the phone, and we could see them arrive. And they came up and didn't put the lights on the car, so that the robbers were unaware that the police were coming. But we could see it from our thing. So the police got these blokes and arrested them. And so it was really exciting. You know, we caught these sheep rustlers. But actually it never went to court. Nothing happened.
Really?
It was, they think what happened, it was a sort of a deal where the farmer was a bit dodgy.
What, a dodgy
He
farmer,
did
never.
deal with somebody to get rid of some. I think that's what happened anyway.
do you know what this music is? This is the CD that was prepared especially for the visit of Pope Benedict.
Sounds a bit jazzy.
I must take a cup lay down. It's been there since 2010.
We've our walls this week.
Everything's got them down.
We didn't have anyone on work experience, no one showed. So we've got to clear all the walls of everything for the decorators.
And my year 7s have been doing Pope
You got
Francis
the decorators in
projects
again?
to replace the Pope Benedict.
You jazzed up corridor. What colour are you having this time?
Oh, it's exciting.
You go for green, you know?
I wanted a purple wall.
No, we're having cream, but then we're all allowed to pick our own work colours.
I'm having plum.
I want it. That's
You
what I
can
like
have your
from
own.
purple.
I'm having plum, a pastel plum.
So
Yeah.
Who's going for blue then?
Although Claire, you can't because you haven't got any colours.
I'm
When
having
do I
blue.
choose that?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it choose that?
You know, for the side bits, you haven't got any.
Has it passed? Have we missed it?
No,
What?
Jason's been out and bought paint.
We're all having plum.
Having plum.
I'll tell we picked plum. That was quite funny.
I like plum.
Can you have liturgical colours or none?
Yeah, you can only come in my room in ordinary time.
You can only come in my room when it's got anything to do with our lady.
Who's having Laudate Sunday?
I'm having plum.
Rose
Castle
vestments. You're only allowed in one day a year. Vacant rest of the year.
That was one of our girls wrote
that's a
that.
girl in my class.
If I
She
get
wrote that one.
round past enough, I can see.
Did you not on?
How
Some of the
nice.
students
No,
wrote
I do.
Father Bede. Some of the students wrote these.
I'd like one of these, Miss Mahoney,
Is this book for Father Bede?
when you come on retreat, bring one with you. I will.
Why don't you give that one to Father Bede?
Oh no, I can get one any time.
Oh no,
You
no.
can
You can kind of stand in the middle, don't you?
I know I just did that, I didn't
Come for the mass next term.
Yeah, actually that'll show you doing it, yeah.
So I'll try one more time. That won't be long actually, will it? This is
so.
the beginning of September.
The first time you've done a prayer book.
No.
Joanna did.
I did one for the centenary,
Yeah. How many years
And
ago was that?
2008.
Right.
And we've talked since then about doing another one, and finally managed to finish it before I finished. So Chris Copley and I did this one.
That's what it turns out, I didn't get up to you.
You get Superman involved.
Which is the tea? Anybody know?
The one that's only got
Written by the children often better than the adults.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some beautiful ones.
I'm just filming everything. Hey, mate. Stop filming me now, please.
Shall I interview you?
You're in Manchester.
No,
So how long have you worked at St Joseph's?
too long.
That's what they're saying.
Is that what you ever said? Too long. Enough now.
No, they're saying you've worked there too long. I think Rachel was the last one who said it. Rachel, is that right? Did you tell me she'd been working at St Joseph's for too long?
Too long, trying to get rid of me.
what you back here, man.
Do you want to swap? You can come up
No,
my
I know
room.
you're telling me.
I'll go retire and you can swap with me. Is that like a good...
It's actually a muff, I think, is it? Not cereal.
I can't tell the difference.
Choosing you, Joanna.
Oh, it's because I've got, maybe it's my feet.
There now.
Yeah, I think so.
We've attempted to copy you. To put together a selection of things.
Some small,
Some small, some...
All
Survival
expertly
kit for
wrapped.
Lord.
Well, I think this might be your survival kit for the week.
Right.
I think you might need these throughout the week, so...
I know what that is.
Claire
Guess
will
what
come in and
that is.
present them to you. So I'll give them to people.
I needed them in Mass. Thank you ever so much. I wonder what this is. Have you made it so I can't get into it?
I have done with a couple.
Hooray!
But look on the other side.
Other side.
God bless. God bless you. Lovely. Thank you.
You need to use those this week, Joanna.
I will. I'll keep them in my. I'll keep them with me all the time.
I'll just let you open that one first because I don't really know what to say about that. You've talked a lot about that.
This.
Yeah. You've talked a lot about it for the past couple of weeks.
Talked
so when
about
we
it
saw
the
it,
last couple of weeks.
yeah, you've talked a lot about
Oh, I have. I have.
so we
My
found
big
God's
message
little book of love.
has been love. Thank you.
It's like you're sitting in your own garden, it's your own garden.
Yeah.
God's little book of love. Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
It's nice
I
for
think I said on that Wednesday night that in the last few months I have felt so surrounded by, it's been so evident, love both ways. From Holy Thursday, when we did the, that staff liturgy, where I washed people's hands that I hadn't planned to do. I think I told you, Father, about it, that was the beginning of this last journey at SJCC, that I looked at the staff that day and I really loved everybody, those that weren't there as well, so that's when I started believing in that. No, I won't say anything.
Right, this is a place you love.
This
And
is the
it'll
place I love.
It'll keep you occupied in September.
Is it past my numbers?
The place I love that will keep me occupied in September. I can do a jigsaw of Ampleforth.
How many pieces is
Oh,
that?
that's lovely. Right, so on September the, what day is it? When you're second. When you're there thinking, oh, I don't want to be back at school, I'll be doing a jigsaw.
I think I've only been in
Oh, that's lovely. It's in different languages. No, I think it tells you how to do a jigsaw.
Christian, I'm going to fall on the hill. Right.
You're really spoiling me.
This present, Joanna, you know, like you have so much to say and so many stories and things like that.
I never stop.
I've decided this might help you with that.
Is it something that tells you to don't go on too long?
Stopwatch.
It might help you to be able to get everything out
Right.
Without speaking.
They won't let me look at microphones anymore. I love the paper, by the way. Oh, now this is very. Oh gosh, this is beautiful.
You know, we've said we want you to write something down about
Yes.
your memories of St. Joseph.
So
That's your book, and then we'll put it online. We'll publish it.
That is just beautiful. So this is for me to write St. Memories.
Yeah, it's from here.
You might have to refer to Eamon's
Little
notebooks,
to
yeah.
help you, Joanna.
How beautiful.
The appendices can be your
This will be. I will do this, and it will be reverent.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because I've always planned a silly book that was going to be, I don't know, we talked a while ago about, it sounds a bit awful to say, it was going to be called The Nun in the Cellar. The ghost stories of SJC. This will be the proper.
You don't want to tell me that.
No, I won't do it. That's beautiful. And that's lovely, that little.
It's lovely.
Have you all seen it? I think I ought to pass them round. I shall pass these round. Isn't it beautiful? I love that. I don't mean I don't love the jigsaw as well.
It must be, somebody who knows about stones will know what that's for.
I
It's
wonder
a
what it
tiger
is.
stone, isn't it? But they're all supposed to be
Well, that it
associated
means
with certain
something.
healings, aren't they?
Long life in retirement, I think.
Oh, well, if I had a phone that I could Google things
Well,
on.
it's that,
Did you know they existed, Father?
that song that's on my selection CD, that one that is Louis Armstrong, I now know, Christian, I didn't know who sang it. We have all the time in the world.
All the time in the world. That's right.
Because I had thought, when you retire, you're facing the end of your time, but you're not really, you've got all the time
I
in the
kept a
world.
diary from January to April of this year. Did you? Yeah.
Did you keep it proper?
Yeah. Did you write about
Well, you're more, as Joanna Allen said, you're more in charge of your time.
Yes,
You choose to do the
you can use
Clean
your
up probably
time.
Yeah.
every week.
It's not better,
It's always
but
moved
I've
from
seen
the
it.
thing. She doesn't like it.
All right. I was doing it already.
John O'Donoghue.
I'm looking at a measuring thing.
Time.
She does.
Joanna, this next. What you're going to make?
It's supposed to be a joke, and then it's
supposed to be
it's
a
the
joke,
most
and it was
important one.
supposed to be much smaller.
But it's huge.
It's big and it's not funny.
We didn't want you to forget it.
It's funny, yeah.
And it's your nephew that's turned it into something much bigger than we initially thought.
So
Or
James got
anticipated.
involved.
We wanted a little
Okay.
something
We
so
just
you don't
wanted
forget
a little
it.
something so
So
you
you
didn't
give
forget
Right.
us, and it's just
Turned into a big
serious.
give it to her. Your turn, Claire.
Oh my word.
Brilliant. We don't know where you're going to put it. To your family.
Yeah.
Go all those.
Pull this masking tape, it'll come straight up.
It's a portrait.
Say
How
that.
could I forget you anyway? But
I got
No,
I
but
mean,
you certainly won't with that.
Are you wearing angel wings? Because she only put pictures of angels.
James.
We should have got some of them.
Well, that isn't a joke at all. It's just beautiful.
We didn't expect it to be such a
We thought it was going to be quite small.
I think that's really beautiful. Thank you.
Hang it up on the wall above your bed or something.
So whenever I think, oh, I really am missing them, I thought it's lovely.
I really want meant to be so.
It's lovely.
Turn around, Joanna. Hold on a minute, Johnny. You keep it. Sorry, you keep it.
Taking a picture. Me and my friends.
Thank God my drawer you've just stand out.
Why are you laughing? Because we only wanted
We
it to be
just wanted
really
a little, like, just
Just going to give it like a little 64.
James has made it into what I think so.
Well, we're getting new doors. We're getting new doors on the corridor. It's laminated 8 foot by 4 foot as people open double doors.
Yeah, that's how you're going to put
We
that.
should put it up somewhere.
You need a copy of that in your
Yeah. The performing arts department have got them as babies, haven't they? I'm not up for doing that. You'd be able to tell that which one's me straight away.
You can advertise as Joanna.
When I was a baby, I was exactly the same with my
Any young
body.
single man come into your house, Joanna?
Exactly the same.
I can say
can
this one
age
is
range it.
so rich for a good husband, and this one.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if I could do Facebook.
Here we are. We have
Another one.
this one's
There are other versions of that photograph that you can have.
the comedy version.
We should have one of them at the end of the corridor.
Right, this is the serious
This is the serious
This is the wonderful one.
So, this, we gave James we commissioned him to do
Yeah.
something for us. We gave the artistic license over to him, and we said we want
Photoshop you in if you
something.
want,
We want a picture of. There's a statue of St Joseph's, a cross, a corridor. We gave him all these random things, and he said, "What? How am I meant to make that look good?" And we said, "Well, if anybody can do it, James, you can do it." And then in the middle of it, we threw in some bricks that you decided to write all over. Anyway,
So I wrote on a wall when I was 7.
yeah. So after a week and his eye for design, this Joanna is from us to you. With love. With love. St Joseph. Designed by James.
Will you help me to open it?
He really truly has made bricks. This is a master.
Well, you haven't got one of his work, have you, Joanna? This is a nephew, probably. Yeah. A nephew.
Oh, that is just beautiful.
And his mummy was supposed to be here today, but because she taught at St Joseph's as well for a term. Yeah.
Gosh,
It's just beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
They've got these hanging in the school as well.
Sorry, we want your present back so we can hang it up in school.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, it's just perfect.
It's like
And
Photoshop.
Layers of it.
the days and
Incredible.
streets is significant because
It's difficult. Yeah. But it's difficult to do that well.
I'm like a computer.
You layer it.
Saint Therese said, flowers are the smiles of God, and the blessings are the smiles of God, and I think daisies are the flower to choose because often you don't notice them, but you have to look for them, but they're there, and like the people that I've met are my blessings from God. So that's why I chose daisies, because they're simple but beautiful. Like so many of our girls and stuff. And you're all my smiles from God that I've been blessed to know and to love and to be loved by. really beautiful. Thank you, all of you, for these. Oh, it's just, it's heaven, isn't it? Again.
On earth.
Should we have a prayer from the prayer book?
You can choose.
Oh yes, I've had
We'll
prayer.
choose an appropriate prayer. You can have a look. See what you
This is one you're excited about giving.
Do you want the bubble wrap?
I better have it for the cough. And I.
Why the stones?
Well, part of that Holy Week service was I had a table that was Jesus the Cornerstone, and linked it to the stones that we either stumble over or we lean on the rock. And I asked the caretakers, could I have a few stones, and it was in the middle of snow and filthy weather, and Andy and Steve came to me with 2 stones that were absolutely filthy, and they grovelled about to get them. I just missed the skip going from the school grounds full of stones. They went and got these from a place in school that is near what we call the retaining wall, which has a history of being on every governor's meeting. When I was a governor, we always used to laugh about the retaining wall. And so these bricks were in my room for a long time after Holy Thursday. And when I was a child at St Walburga School, I wrote my name on the wall around the school and got the cane from the head teacher. I didn't even write anybody else's name, I wrote my own. And these have been on the windowsill in chaplaincy. One day I was just there thinking, you know, this could be one of the foundation stones. And I wrote SJC 1908 on it when it was founded. But the stone on the top then, I thought, well, I'll put myself on this stone as well, so I wrote myself on it. JJ 1953, when I first went to 2013. So James must have come in and taken a picture of the stone.
You were there when he was doing it. Well, you were in that much of a dither about something. Just doing it.
And the statue of Our Lady, that this one that was in your room that got moved, and I kept asking, because this is the statue of Our Lady that looks after all the RE department, and it was moved for decorating. And I kept asking the caretaker, will you put Our Lady back on the plinth? And he kept saying yes, and it never happened. And I was getting a bit anxious that she wasn't going to be there for the whole corridor. So I think it was Steve I met one day, and I said, Steve, please put that Our Lady back. And he has done. So it's just absolutely beautiful. The daisies, and this is the window in the upper room, the prayer room that we have. And is the cross? Well, it looks like the one on. Is it the one on the side of the skull? So he's photographed it and then taken it out of
away from the brick.
Photographed. And there he is, James. And James needs a good Catholic wife. I know, I keep trying, but they're all too. They're not. There's not that. There has to be.
His dad keeps saying to Jenny at St Francis, because his dad works at St Francis, I've got a son who's looking for a girlfriend.
Oh, his dad really thinks that Jenny would be lovely for James, but that is just absolutely just right. And as
I'm so
even the
pleased
tissues
what he
are
was
just
told
right.
to do when we said to him, we've got there's the RE corridor, and then from the RE corridor came Our Lady.
Yes. How long did you spend on this then? Must have taken a while.
No, James did all the work. We just sort of said,
and which is next door to the exam hall. So somebody came running in one day. We need a clock. So obviously there's my big clock on the wall. I said, here, borrow this clock. So it got lost then, and it disappeared into the realms of exams and villas and rooms where one person does an exam. I sent an email around the whole staff about that I'd lost the blue clock. They were all laughing at me, I think. And it turned up, didn't it? And then I came to Rachel one day and I said, Rachel, you won't believe it. The clock's gone again. Anyway, it turned up and it's there.
Right, a family is like a rainbow. This is a student. We're like a family. Families are a lot like rainbows, so many different colours and parts to play. They are strong and stay together through everything. When things go wrong, they still will not be broken. Family is also like a rainbow because it is a very treasured, beautiful thing to have. It is also like a journey because it starts with the sun and rain coming together to make something incredible. When the family's journey is over, there is the pot of gold at the end of this, which is God's kingdom. We all aim to have this beautiful experience.
Amen.
One of my students in the class should do a rainbow. I can't remember because it's 3 years ago. Should be in the sixth form now, but would you like the one that's page 27?
I'll read that because that's just for some people here. I wrote this for those some people. Dear Saint Joseph, husband of Mary and foster father of Jesus, I ask your guidance in finding a good husband for some people here. You loved and cared for Mary and Jesus and grew in faith and trust. Strengthen their faith and help them to meet someone with whom they can share the journey of marriage and, if God wills, the gift of children. Amen.
Amen.
That reads better if you're reading it yourself. I put they in.
Yeah, I thought we were going for one husband and they was multiple wives.
You got it right. Did you get your prayer right?
There's a prayer for priests. Father, you appointed, this is for Father Bede then. Father, you appointed your Son, Jesus Christ, eternal High Priest. Guide those he has chosen to be ministers of the Word and Sacrament and help them to be faithful in fulfilling the ministry they have received. Grant this through Jesus our Saviour. Amen.
Amen.
Prayer for Bradford.
I did go to the bereavement section, but then thought, because there's farewell ones there, but I thought not did it.
There's one about getting old.
I'm glad you didn't choose the one about getting older. Although I do think that one about getting old, I found that in a little book, a little CTS book, and I think it's beautiful, about a prayer as I grow older. Shall I read it?
Yeah.
I don't think those of... I'm not ready for this yet, but... Sweet Jesus mine, as I grow older and older, help me to become... I can't read it.
So somebody else read it.
Smaller and smaller. So small that without any bother I can climb up into your lap. Put my arms round your neck and whisper in my ear all the things I want to ask you and tell you, especially to tell you that I love you. So small that I can sit and listen to all you have to say to me. So small that when it is time for me to die, you will pick me up in your arms and take me home. Well, it depends if it speaks to you. If it speaks to you or not.
Oh, no, it's just this idea of getting smaller and smaller, because that's actually what happens to you.
Yeah.
You shrink as you go, decrease, and you're getting all this pain from arthritis.
Yeah, so you're going to be held by a boat.
Processed enough. You just at the, you know, the bandstand.
Processed down.
You don't process anymore in the Blessed Sacrament procession. You don't walk.
Process with the the.
We don't. Only the priests and the banners and the Blessed Sacrament process. I think it's because of the flood. The space that they do it in now is limited. And everybody else stands or kneels and watches.
You all are in a circle around it.
I didn't. You found that prayerful. I didn't at all.
I found that very hard. Well, mainly the heat.
What? Did you get into it? Did you have something to kneel on there?
No.
We used to go to
And that was the
Lourdes
day
in
the feet
May,
started.
and we used to have half term after it. Do you remember this, Teresa? After Lourdes, it was always half term, and we always used to go to Robin Hood's Bay, where Trudy and I used to hire this house that the nieces and nephews thought was ours. They used to come every year this week, and I used to buy all these t-shirts and they all look the same. But we used to have Lourdes processions in Robin Hood's Bay because, and Teresa was often on the Lourdes procession in Lourdes, so we used to talk a lot about Lourdes. And the nephews, who are now, men with their own little children, they used to procession with Robin Hood's Bay with a big stick, didn't they?
The locals make of this thing.
Well, they all humoured it, and it was in the days when you could let them out without worrying about them. I can remember David Michael holding this cross thing. He made a cross with sticks, singing "Walk with me, oh my Lord." Walk with me, oh my Lord.
Process a lot with an extra strong mint.
Did it have to be an extra strong one?
Yes, because that was the right shape.
That's it.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was about 7.
He never became an
Used to have maths at
altar
home on a Sunday afternoon after I got back.
And all they wanted to be, these nephews, was a baggage boy, because it was the days when we went on the train, and the boys on the pilgrimage youth section used to help load and unload the train. They were Father McQueen's baggage boys. And then by the time the nephews... Mick McQueen used to come and stay with us at Robin Hood's Bay. And Laurie Hume. And by the time the boys went to Lourdes, we weren't travelling on the train, so they couldn't be baggage boys.
They never got to be baggage boys.
They never got to be baggage boys.
I was on the last train.
Silver blankets to keep you warm.
That photo nearly went up on the screen.
I'm glad it didn't.
I chose instead that lovely one of yours, this young lady. You said, have you forgotten it? I said, I'll get you a copy of
Well,
it.
there were a couple of photographs that you had that I don't remember ever seeing before.
But those were the days when Mick McQueen and Phil Mojo would buy wine, crates of it, for the staff on the way back.
Well, it was
on
more
the train.
Mojo then.
Yeah.
They used to put it into holy water bottles.
Well, St Joseph's College staff weren't allowed to drink.
We got on the coach this year and we were just like, just can't wait to get home and have an ice cold gin and tonic.
This was
The
your
drive-
this
the
was your
driver
final
said-
sacrifice.
The driver says to us, what about wine? Do you like wine? I said,
Chilled.
oh yeah, a nice chilled glass of wine. I could drink that too. He opened up his thing and he got out this bottle. He bought it for the special one. I bought you this, have this. Like, oh, I really
Can
can't.
you when you're in charge?
It was so tempting.
What a lovely thought, though.
How nice.
But torture, you just knew where it were all night.
It would have made you feel worse though.
Sitting down, sit down.
How old are you, Claire Saville?
Me?
Yeah.
28.
I mean, I meant that metaphorically, wasn't I?
How old? Right.
What is this chair?
Sit on a different chair. Is it comfy?
Yeah.
Looks quite comfortable. Oh, I am now.
Take me out.